We are Legally Sis. Welcome to our podcast.
The information provided in the show is for general informational purposes only and should not be construed as legal advice on any subject matter. No attorney-client relationship is created between you and Duran Duran-Schulze Law.
Hi, we're back. This is
Legally Sis.
I'm Attorney March.
And I'm Attorney Muen.
Thank you for tuning in. During our first episode, we discussed the administrative proceedings in changing your name. In this episode, we will be discussing the judicial process in changing or correcting your name.
Yes, that's right.
So, Attorney Wendy, since it's your turf, can you please explain to our viewers what does entail to start or to change your name under the judicial process?
Okay, for the judicial process, well, you have to start with filing your petition, but this one will be filed before the regional trial court, having the jurisdiction over the local civil registry, where your birth certificate or the civil registry document that you need to be changed or corrected, registered or recorded. So,
Okay, for those that are not yet, for those that failed to listen to our first episode, Attorney Wendy previously explained the difference between an administrative and a judicial proceeding. Maybe you can give a little bit of a summary of the difference so that our current viewers can understand.
okay, for the administrative proceedings versus the judicial proceedings, well, for the first one, you have to file your correction or your change of name before the local civil registry office where the civil document involved is registered or recorded. So this entails only those not really substantial but merely typographical error or clerical errors. So those are most common
Errors that
Yes.
are being allowed to be corrected under the LCR.
And for the judicial proceedings, it involves substantial changes.
What do you
or
mean
corrections.
by substantial? For example, change of surname because it will involve
Substantial changes? It will affect other parties, such as your parents. So if you're going to change your surname,
you can also change your legitim or your inheritance potentially, right? Or you want to claim to be a daughter or a son of another person.
yes. So that's just a substantial change already. So that will involve a judicial proceedings. So court involvement.
What else? How about change of name? The first name, second name.
For a change of name, first name, well, that could be corrected via administrative. Change of name, the first name.
But if you drop a first name or a middle name,
And I think you can do that via judicial proceedings. So you have to have a reasonable grounds that you can actually send or present to the court why you are dropping or adding another name.
how about correcting your maiden's name, your maiden name?
Okay, it really depends on what the middle name correction entails. So if it's just a mere typographical error, well, you can do that administratively. But for instances that you do not have, or your middle name is different from your mother's maiden name, so that will entail a judicial proceedings.
So, what is the usual process? Oh, well, you explained to us the process in filing a case before the RTC. What are the requirements to do that?
All right, so the usual requirements is basically the same as the administrative proceedings. So you have to present your birth certificate or the civil registry document that is involved, your supporting documents such as your certificate of baptism, school records, NBI and police clearance, medical certificate or medical record if it entails
A change in or correction of
your gender.
How long will it take you to finish a change in surname judicially?
Okay, this really depends on the docket of the court. So most of the time, there's a minimum of like 8 months, but it could go as long as 4 years. So you have to take into consideration also the schedule of the other parties, such as the judge, the prosecutor who represents the respondent, LCRO, the local civil registry, and the PSA.
What if the person that wants to correct her or his name is based abroad? Can that person still do that?
So for persons who are residing abroad, you can actually do this depending on the circumstances. So if it is involved the correction or change of name before the LCRO, you can actually go to the nearest consulate or Philippine embassy, and then you can file your petition for the correction or change of name there. So this, you will be called as a petitioner migrant. There's actually an administrative matter issued by the PSA regarding that one. But for judicial, you have to actually appear before the regional trial court or the court having your case.
We received a number of questions via our website. Can I read them to you and you please answer them?
Yeah, sure.
I just found out that I have 2 birth certificates. Between the 2 birth certificates, the second one is the correct one. Which shall prevail?
Okay. For that one, well, for now, the PSA actually releases the first or whichever is the first that has been registered to them. But if you have problems regarding that, you will have to ask the court to cancel either one of your birth certificates. So this will entail a judicial proceedings, but it's not really a simple change of name or correction of name.
May problema po ako sa birth certificate ko. Mali yung nailagay na apelyido ng komadrona nung bata ako. May kasabay kasi akong ipinanganak sa lugar namin. Narambol ng komadrona ang apelyido namin.
Yeah, that one will fall under the judicial proceedings. So you will have to file a petition before the court and actually prove that your surname is different from the one that is registered in your birth certificate. So you will have to have a witnesses who will actually testify on your behalf, proving your real
Family name.
family name.
Attorney, my birth year is incorrect.
Birth year, yes, that will also involve judicial proceedings. So for that one, you will need supporting documents and also the testimony of anyone who knows or has a personal knowledge about your birth.
I have been given 3 first names. Can I remove one?
Yes, you can.
Can I add one?
Yes, you can. But you have to have a reasonable ground why you are adding or removing your name.
I'm estranged from my family. I do not want to carry my family's name anymore.
Yes, you can also do a change of name via judicial proceedings.
So even if you were born with this particular surname and then you want to be completely cut off from them, you can change your surname?
Yes, but this one you have to implead or isama sa kaso yung mga magulang mo because that will involve affecting the legitimate of you and your parents as well. So, kailangan mo silang isama doon sa kaso. Kapag magpapalit ka ng surname mo ng totally different.
I'm a dual citizen. I changed my name in the US. Can I change my name here using that change of name?
Yes, you can also do that by filing a petition with the court as well. For the supporting documents, you present order from the court granting your change of name in the USA or in the foreign country.
I had sex reassignment in another country. Can I change my gender in the Philippines?
Unfortunately, no. I think there's a decision already decided by the Supreme Court regarding that. So, for now, hindi pwede.
This person is an illegitimate child. He was recognized by his father, but now the mother and the father are estranged. The mother wants to drop the father's surname and return it to the maiden's name.
Okay, that involves the judicial proceedings. But this one, you have to implead also the father of the child and prove to the court why you are changing the surname of your child back to the maiden name of the mother's name. So this will entail a substantial change.
I would like to inquire with regard the case of my daughter's birth certificate. Her PSA birth certificate issued showed her place of birth as Cavite, Philippines. But she really was born in Qatar. How do we fix this?
Okay, for that one, you file your petition for the correction of the birth certificate at the regional trial court having jurisdiction over the local civil registry where it is stated in like Cavite. And then you prove there that the child is not really born in Cavite but outside the Philippines.
Okay, thank you. That's all for today's episode. We will be having a webinar discussing change of name and correction of name. So if you want to be part of that webinar, just follow us and we will be sharing to you the link and the date and time for that. Bye.
Bye!